If you think one person can't change a nation, think again. This is the story of a leader who gave up comfort, safety, and privilege so millions could taste freedom. Arav Patel was born in a small, peaceful village surrounded by rolling fields and sparkling rivers. As a child, he spent his days running barefoot through the wheat, helping his parents in the garden, and listening to stories of heroes who had stood up for justice. Life was simple, life was safe, life was comfortable, but that comfort was a fragile illusion. His homeland was no longer free. The streets were patrolled by soldiers of a foreign empire. Farmers were taxed beyond measure. People whispered in fear. Children learned obedience before courage, and the spirit of the nation had been buried under fear. Arav left for study abroad. Seeking education and a life away from oppression, he was welcomed into a world of comfort, warm beds, fine food, freedom, and respect. 4 years, he could have lived there, far from the suffering of his people. But one rainy night changed everything. Walking home from a meeting, he saw an old man shivering, drenched by the rain. Thrown out of a public place for no crime other than his identity, Arav stepped forward to help him. The old man grasped his hand and whispered, "If those who can fight choose comfort, who will fight for those who cannot?" Those words pierced Arav's soul. For the first time, he realized that comfort was a betrayal if his people remained enslaved. He knew that freedom was more precious than personal safety, more vital than his own dreams. Without hesitation, he left his life abroad behind and returned home. But what he found was worse than he imagined. Fear had grown roots deep in every village. Families hid their true thoughts. Farmers bent under unbearable taxes. Young people were taught silence. And yet, in every shadow, there was a spark, a silent hope that someone would rise. Arav could have remained safe. He could have quietly lived. But he chose a different path. He chose sacrifice. He chose struggle. He chose the long road. He didn't fight with weapons. He didn't spread hatred. Instead, he walked a long, tireless journey across villages and towns, speaking to farmers, traders, mothers, students, and elders. His clothes were simple. His food was simple. His bed was the ground. And his message was simple: freedom is not begged for. It is lived. Start living it now. At first, few listened. Then, slowly, dozens. Then hundreds. Then thousands. The people began to believe that courage could replace fear, that discipline could replace chaos, that truth could replace oppression. Arav led peaceful marches. He encouraged boycotts, urging people to reject the goods of the empire. He inspired families to spin their own cloth, make their own salt, and reclaim their dignity. When the empire jailed him, mocked him, and tried to silence him, the movement grew stronger. There was one day the soldiers struck violently against a peaceful march. Many were injured. Some never returned home. But Arav stood calmly before the crowd, his voice steady. They may have weapons, but we have truth. They may have power, but we have purpose. Years passed. Arav suffered. He lost sleep, comfort, and health. He endured imprisonment, ridicule, and hunger, but he never lost faith. Every sacrifice he made inspired millions to stand taller, think louder, and believe stronger. Over decades, the impossible became reality. The empire surrendered. The nation rose again, free at last. Millions celebrated, but Arav did not seek the spotlight. He stood quietly at the back, smiling softly as children waved the new flag of freedom. He had no desire for power, no need for praise, only the joy of seeing his people breathe freely again. And in that quiet moment, the truth became clear. True leadership is not about privilege. True power is not taken, it is given by the people. True freedom is not won through comfort, it is won through sacrifice. If you ever feel small, powerless, or insignificant, remember Arav. He gave up comfort. He gave up safety. He gave up everything so his people could stand tall. He is a reminder that courage is contagious, sacrifice is meaningful, and one person's determination can awaken an entire nation. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of the power inside every one of us, then don't let it stop here. Like this video, share it with someone who needs inspiration, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that motivate, uplift, and transform your mindset. Every like, share, and subscription helps spread stories that can change lives just like ours changed a nation.